so good to see everyone.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
You know, it's interesting. Siena, Nick, this is not your first time on Popternative, but Austin Reed, welcome to Popternative for the first time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know, Austin, I do want to know because, you know, Kevin Smith, we know it's going to be chaotic. We know it's going to be crazy. There's so many fun, amazing things that happen in this film. That script, the screen journey really interests me. Like, what is that like kind of reading the 4:30 movie, like reading what's going to happen and actually see it come to life on screen specifically with this project?
It's pretty crazy just because I got to read, I feel like, at least 3 or 4 different drafts. So I got to see kind of how it evolved over time, and just seeing really what he kept in, how he changed. Like the ending had a couple. I think there was the ending before the one they decided to go with had a lot of the creatures from the trailers, like walking with Brian and Melody under the bridge, which would have been cool, but I guess it was too expensive. But yeah, just seeing the evolution of it was very, very, very cool.
No, absolutely. Reed, so much happens before you go to camera on a film like this, right? And like, if you like, the trailer got released soon, and people are gonna be able to go see it in theaters Friday the 13th, September 13th, which is wild. Like, so in a lot of ways, from an acting storyteller perspective, Reed, you can look at it as 2 journeys, right? Before filming this film and then after filming it, or do you see it as one big journey with multiple steps? I'm curious about that.
My hope is that it's one big journey and we get to do it 1,000 more times, because I loved working with these people so much. But I think, yeah, from the moment you audition to the moment you get cast, and then after, it's now part of it's part of your story. Yeah. It's part of how you're going to continue talking about your career, at least how I will. This is really my first big leading role in a movie. So Kevin really gave me my start. So now Belly is just a part of me for life. He's stuck with me and I'm stuck with him.
Absolutely. Siena, it's good to see you again. I can't keep track of time. I don't know when's the last time we spoke. It was for Resident Evil, but that feels like it was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
What was the mindset for going back in time for a film? Because it obviously kind of takes place in the 80s, so there's the aesthetic, what people are going to say to each other. Like, what are you thinking about in terms of like the going back in time for the 80s for this film, like preparation mindset wise?
Well, because I was not there, I think it was just absorbing everything from everyone around me, and turning your ears on and just listening to stories and listening to their experiences. And you know, if there's certain things in the scene, I loved listening to the crew and them like pointing it out and being like, you know, like this, let me tell you a story about when I grew up and, you know, we did this and this. I think it's just being able to replicate sort of everyone's nostalgic memories.
Absolutely. Nick, it's good to see you. It's been a while since those, I mean, it's been like 4 years since those Instagram lives during the pandemic, man.
Yeah, man. How you been? I miss you, bro.
I've been good. I want to know kind of how, because since we've last spoken, even like Outer Banks, but you've had a lot of really cool films after that as well. I'm just curious how kind of separate past journeys are versus something like this, the 4:30 movie-wise, like mindset preparation-wise. Like, do you bring things from those projects to something like this, or are they completely separate once you wrap them? Because I know you're also a filmmaker as well, so.
I mean, obviously, there's something you learn on anytime you go to a set, and I've been really privileged to have worked with some fantastic filmmakers and craftsmen on every set. So I try and learn as much as I can from it. But you know, as far as the character goes, it's kind of all a brand new slate, a brand new canvas, so to speak, of a person, and it is a real person too. So this was my first time playing somebody that is a living, breathing human that I had a responsibility to try and authentically portray. So that alone, I guess, was more of the focus and the new challenge to overcome.
Absolutely. This is going to be fun. We're going to go kind of round the horn. We'll start with Austin. I want to know, what was the first, and I'm not talking about sneaking in, I'm talking about like where you were allowed. What was the first film you remember going to, like whether it was like a horror movie or one with kind of like a lot of swearing, that you were finally able to go to, and maybe like you went with a friend or like a family member or anything? Do you remember that first movie where you were like, wow, this is like the first kind of out there film? For me, it was like a horror film, but I'm just wondering if everyone has those. Austin, I want to start with you.
Well, that I was allowed to go to?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
the 13, PG-13, right? You know what I mean? At one point, you're like, yes. You know what I mean? What was that first film?
Wedding Crashers.
Wow.
For me, yeah. I went, my mom was taking my sister and her friends, and I got to stick around for it and fall in love with Owen and
Was it at
Vince.
4:30?
It was probably like 5-ish, honestly. Yeah. It was out
Okay.
on Friday.
We'll take that. We'll take that. Reed, what about you?
Mine was Blades of Glory, which I just remember literally laughing the entire time watching.
Awesome. Sienna, what about you?
Oh man, I want to say I want to say Men in Black just
Okay.
because it was my dad. My dad took me, and that was just it was like a daddy-daughter date. And that's
Yeah. Oh, these are great answers. Nick, the pressure's on.
Oh,
man.
for me,
What-
my answer is always the same. Forgetting Sarah Marshall was for me the biggest
Yeah.
seminal film experience that I like was first time watching Full Frontal. Me, all my friends in the theater together. So
Yeah, like for
Forgetting
me,
Sarah
there was a
Marshall.
lot of those like goofy, like super bad and everything. But specifically,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember like when I was able to go see like horror movies for the first time, like when I went to go see The House of Wax with Chad Michael Murray and Paris
Careful.
Hilton.
Spooky
Still
stuff.
till this day, and I'm like a horror movie filmmaker now. Till this day, it's like
Oh, nice.
the coolest thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, it's wild. Austin, I do want to know a little bit about working with Kevin Smith. I mean, legend, icon. I don't know what else we could say about that, but like, what were learning experiences you kind of like got from him that you could take to like for future projects from like kind of a filmmaking perspective?
From a filmmaking perspective, honestly, just working with him and him editing his own work, just how specific he would be within knowing what he needed shot wise was really, really cool because it would allow him to save time if he needed to, or just kind of work with and around everybody in a totally different way. It seemed like he had it all planned out in his head, almost like as like a painting, like a motion picture painting.
Absolutely. The 4:30 movie is going to be in theaters September 13th. Very quickly, we're going to go around the horn. I'll start it off. One word to describe this film. I'm going to start it with nostalgic. Sienna, what about you?
Charming.
Reed?
That was my word, charming.
Do you have another one, Reed? Or are you going to just charming times two?
Fun.
Fun. Nick, what about you?
I mean, they're taking every word from sweet. It is a sweet movie.
I feel like Austin has a good one because he was thinking about it. I saw he's like really thinking about it.
I was trying over here, but I don't know if I was gonna say chaotic, but I don't know. That doesn't really make sense
That's
to an extent.
It's great.
That's a great one.
I think it's fine.
We have some good
It's
ones.
fine,
Yeah,
yeah.
the 4:30 movie.
I think ours were
directed and
better.
written by
All three of
Kevin
ours were
Smith.
better.
You are so good in this movie, by the way. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Thank
good.
you, Petey.
So fun. Great to see everyone. Thank you so much for your time.
It's just cute.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.